Hello, and thank you for joining me for this third episode of Real Talk Live. Tonight, I want to talk to you about 5 ways that you can avoid burnout this summer. This is a real issue that so many people deal with, especially if you are highly creative and a very energetic and driven person with lots of ideas. So, I want to jump right into 5 things that you can do to avoid burnout this summer. So, really quickly, my name's Dominique D. I'm the founder of RohiniWellness.com and also the creator and host of the Yes to You podcast. And I hold space for women to be able to heal themselves, find their voice, and express themselves with confidence so that they can go forth and create the life that they were meant to live. So, really quickly, I want to list those 5 things that you can do to avoid burnout, and then we'll go through each one. So, number one is to listen. Number two is to assess. Number three is to recommit. Number four is trust. And number five is get support. Can you guys try and record here? Thank you. I got my little one just bursting up in here like he owns the place. Okay. So let's jump right into number one. So, the first way to avoid burnout is to listen to your body. Now, as spiritual people, we all know that everything that manifests physically starts off in the mental, emotional, kind of energetic plane, right? And so, our body is the physical embodiment of whatever our energy is and whatever we're carrying at any given moment. So, therefore, if you can tune into your body, and really pay attention to what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, you can get so much information about where you are in terms of alignment with your overall big vision, with your values, and with your life's purpose or your mission. So, here's the problem. If you are in your head a lot, you're on the go, and you're just creating a bunch of content or you're expending all this energy, a lot of times we become disconnected from our body. So you might not know what you feel in the moment, or you might be feeling something, but you're so mentally focused on this thing you're working on that you're not really paying attention to it because it's not really calling out to you as loud, right? So I recently had an experience with this myself. I underwent an oral surgery last week, and boy, that really was a wake up call for me because that didn't just fall out of nowhere, but I wasn't really paying attention to what my body was telling me until it got painful, right? And then I was forced to stop, go take care of this problem, and then work through the recovery process. And of course, because that was unplanned, all the stuff that I had going on just kind of had to fall wherever it was. And I felt frustrated. I felt guilty that I wasn't showing up for my tribe the way I wanted to. I felt guilty for not being, going 100 miles per hour like I'm used to. And I had to really stop and say, whoa, how is this in alignment with who I am? And how is this serving me if I am dealing with this health problem that I've been totally ignoring, which has gotten out of hand at this point, right? Because if you've ever had a toothache, then you'll know that it is the most excruciating pain that you could ever feel. And so, how is it that I could ignore this thing, but I'm giving and being of service to all these people? This doesn't make any sense, right? Everything that we do that actually matters starts with us. And so, if we're not serving ourselves first, there's no way that we could possibly be of service to others in a way that's sustainable and that's meaningful. So, listening to our bodies is the number one way to avoid burnout. So a couple things that you can do, if you are a person that's in your head a lot and you're just really not connected in with your body, that's cool. Everybody's different. Slow down a bit. Maybe take a sea salt bath. That's one thing that can really help you to center into the moment because the water is warm and pretty much there's nothing to do but just sit there, right? So that physical sensation of the warm water will help to bring you into that present moment where you can just breathe and just be, right? And there's nothing major you have to do in that moment, but to just become present. This is the first step in being able to really listen to what's going on with your body. Another thing you could do is to just go for a walk, but don't put your headphones in or be on your cell phone. Just unplug all that stuff and just be in nature. Anything you can do that disconnects you from the day-to-day hustle and bustle to where it's just you in that present moment connecting with yourself is going to be very helpful. But the real key here is physical sensation. So make yourself a delicious salad or get a piece of chocolate, something that you can savor, something that you can feel. Maybe use some essential oils or burn incense to invoke your sense of smell. Get your five senses involved. And this is going to help you to connect in with your physical body. And if you want to take it to the next level, do some yoga or do exercise or, do dance. Totally. Those things are also great ways to get in touch with your body. So listen to what your body is saying. If you're feeling tired, if you're just not having the amount of energy that you want to be able to get through the day, if you're energized the first thing in the morning, but around between the hours of 2 and 4 in the afternoon, you just hit this slump, that is a sign of fatigue, of adrenal burnout. Your adrenals are just like needing a break, right? And that's from being stressed out and being on the go 24/7. So pay attention to those things. You're not just tired because you didn't get enough sleep last night. If you've been tired like that for the past few weeks, that is a sign that you are dealing with some adrenal fatigue, right? And so this just means that it's time to slow down and reevaluate. So listen to your body. So if you're tired, if you are eating in a way that is not serving you, if you're overeating, if you're munching on a bunch of sweets and it's out of balance with the rest of your diet, all of these things are different signs. Nothing ever happens for nothing, right? There is no just random chance. Everything is for a reason. So if you are exuding a certain behavior, then there's a reason behind that. And so the more we can pay attention to these things, it's not to be hyper vigilant and drive yourself crazy all day, but you know what I'm saying, the things that are kind of standing out that are getting in the way of you being able to function. If you're dealing with brain fog and you're a writer, by trade, and you have to be creative on a, continuous basis, and you're finding these blocks, these are the things that we want to pay attention to. So feeling tired, eating patterns being off, if you're cranky, moody, if you're having aches and pains for no particular reason, pay attention to your body. So listen to your body is the first tip to avoid burnout this summer. The second tip is to assess how you spend your time and your energy. This is so important because the one thing we cannot get back in life is our time. You can get your money back, you can get your stuff back, but you cannot get back your time. And your time is your life force if you think about it. And so when I say how you spend your time, I'm literally talking about from sun up to sundown. What are you doing? How much time are you spending at work? How much time are you spending at home, being of service to others, cooking, cleaning, doing chores, this, that? How much time are you spending on the phone talking to people? How much time are you spending watching TV? How much time are you spending on you, doing the things that make your cup feel full? And that's different for everybody. Some people want to just go for a walk in nature. Some people want to just watch Netflix and chill. Everybody is different. So, whatever that thing is for you, how much time do you really spend doing that thing that lights you up? And if you are very passionate about the work you do, I'm not talking about that because I'm one of those people I know where I'm so passionate about creating content and inspiring and uplifting people. That just fills me up, but that also burns me out if I don't have a very clear boundary between where I end and where my work and my creativity begins, because you are not the things you do. You are not the things that come out of you. You are a divine expression of the life force. And so even though we can merge with our passions at times, and that's a beautiful thing, there still needs to be that boundary where you have that time just for you that doesn't include the creative thing you do for other people. So being able to just reassess how you spend your time. Also, your energy. Your energy is so important. How many times have you had that person in your office or that family member or friend or whatever call you up or pull you aside and give you the whole sob story about the neighbor they've been fighting with for the past 5 months, or the ex-boyfriend that they can't seem to get rid of or whatever. And I mean, you're just in this conversation, you're giving some advice, and they're like, cool, I'm going to do that. Thanks so much. I feel so much better. And then a week later, they come back to you with the same thing, right? That is an energy drain, or many of us have been in situations where you're just around somebody and there's something about them that just pulls from you and you feel tired and you just can't deal with any more people after dealing with this person. So mind your energy. How are you spending your energy? Are you listening to bad news? Are you watching the news about this fire over here and another earthquake, a tornado, and somebody got shot? Like, how much of that stuff are you consuming on a daily basis? Think about how I want you to imagine those all being seeds. Every piece of bad news you get is a seed, and it gets planted somewhere in here. And while you're going about your day, you're not even thinking about that. That seed is growing. So, how many of those seeds are you planting in your subconscious mind on a day to day basis? We have to be mindful of this because these are the things that lead to burnout. They're the things that drain our energy kind of in the background when we're not even paying attention to them. Kind of like those apps that run in the background on your phone that you're not even using the app, but it's like draining your battery and you're wondering, how did I get all the way to 2% when I just charged my phone? It's all these little things that are just pulling on your energy. So assess how you spend your time and energy and be mindful about how much of that is going to you, and be mindful about what you want to get out of every interaction. When you watch something, listen to something, talk to someone, go somewhere, is this really serving you, your purpose, and what your value system is? Or are you doing it for some reason outside of you? And is it worth it? So these are just questions to ask yourself in this process. And then once you've assessed how you're using your time and energy, really ask yourself why, especially, as I said, when it comes to those things where maybe you're not really getting the best end of the deal. So why are you doing that? Why are you continuing to go to that job? Why are you continuing to talk to that person? Why are you continuing to do that project? Whatever the thing is, why are you doing it if it doesn't bring you joy, fill your cup, and drive you forward, and inspire you and give you energy to move in the direction of your purpose? So these are just some things you can work through your journal. So we talked about listening to your body. We talked about assessing how you spend your time and energy. Now, the third way to avoid burnout this summer is to recommit to your big vision, right? Your big vision is that thing that you just dream about, right? That ultimate outcome. If your life could boil down to one ideal day, what would that look like? That's your vision, right? Your vision is the thing that you're striving for. It's what all your goals are leading up to. So, are you even aware of what your vision is? Have you thought of that big picture, or have you just set goals without a particular end in mind? Just something to think about. So, if you have not actually written out a vision statement, which is something that I highly encourage everyone to do. It doesn't matter if you don't have to be an entrepreneur or be doing something huge out in the world. It doesn't matter who you are and what your thing is. You still should have a written vision statement because it's going to provide direction and inspiration and motivation for you for your daily life. So even when you're going through tough times, it'll inspire you and help you to regain your footing. So I have an excellent resource. It's free. It's called the Create Your Vision Workbook. And it's an 11-page guide that walks you through 4 steps to create a powerful vision for your life. You'll look at where you are now and measure the gap between here and where it is you want to be. And I'll help you map out some steps to start taking action now to get you to that big vision. So I will drop a link to that in the description of this video. You can also find that at rohiniwellness.com/vision. So that was the third thing, recommit to your vision. This is the third way you can avoid burnout. And here's why. A lot of times we do things and we can get stuck in a pattern of doing things and getting little rewards, but it's not really moving the needle forward. So, how can you know if you're making progress with what you're doing? How can you know if what you're doing really matters in terms of the grand scheme of things if you don't have the vision in mind? Or if you wrote your vision statement 5 years ago and it's stuffed in a folder somewhere and you don't even remember what you wrote down. So having the vision on the forefront of your mind helps you to make sure that your actions, your words, your thoughts, your deeds, your interactions, the people you make connections with, all of your efforts are moving you in the right direction, and that you are not just busying yourself for the sake of being busy and for the sake of checking boxes off to feel satisfied. Your satisfaction comes from knowing that you are in alignment with your vision. So, we talked about listening to your body, assessing how you spend your time and energy, reconnecting to your vision, right? Not reconnecting, recommitting to your vision. The fourth way to avoid burnout this summer is trust. You have to just trust and know that it's already done. So this goes back to having a vision. Whatever it is that you desire to have in the grand scheme of your life, to create, to experience in your relationships, to experience in terms of your finances, your education, your social and community impact, your friendships, your work and career, your health, whatever it is that you want to desire or that you desire, just know that it's already done. You have to trust, because when you don't trust that you are provided for, regardless of what your situation looks like right now, when you don't trust that things are working themselves out and that things always work in your highest favor, when you don't trust that, it interferes with your momentum. It can take you off balance and increase your stress levels. And obviously, stress is probably the biggest ingredient when it comes to burnout. To be honest, burnout is another way of saying stress. Burnout is extreme stress to the point where it just starts depleting you. So, in order to avoid burnout, a lot of it is mindset, right? So when you are moving in alignment with your vision and you know that you're on the right path, you're able to trust and know. It gives you a sense of optimism to where you can navigate problems a lot better. And also, when you trust and know that things are working in your highest favor, you don't have that much of an issue cutting off things that aren't serving you. So if it's a person that's getting in the way of you being able to move forward, if it's an extra project, you got 15 trillion things going, when you trust and know that you're going to be taken care of, then you'll cut your losses, because you know that, you know, if I cut this project off or this relationship off, I'm not going to suffer. I'm going to still be okay. And so being able to trust in yourself to make the right decisions is everything. And trusting in your source, whatever your source is, be that God, the universe, spirit, higher self, higher power, universal intelligence, whatever you call it, Mother Nature. Having that sense of trust is how you can cut out those things that are draining your time, that are draining your energy, that are killing your momentum, and that are distracting you from what's most important, such as self care, your personal goals, your vision. So, we talked about listening to your body. We talked about assessing how you spend your time and energy. We talked about recommitting to your vision. We talked about um, trust, right? Being able to trust and know that it's already done. The fifth and final way that you can avoid burnout this is to get support. Getting support is so important, especially if you are a super responsible, highly driven person who just tends to do their own thing all the time and you don't really need somebody to light a fire under you. You need support more than anything, because that's me. I'm that person. I'm very self-motivated, self-driven, and I tend to take on too much because I'm like, "Oh, I can handle it. I got it. I got it." And I do at first, I can charge through full force. I don't get tired. I have all this energy, but if I don't enlist other people, then eventually I will crash and burn, and then I'll have no choice but to unplug, sit down, and just watch it all fall while I regroup. And that is frustrating because you spend all this time working on something, building it up, and then you have to take 4 steps back to recoup and then kind of start all over again. And hopefully you learn your lesson when you go through that so you don't repeat that process over and over again. But getting support is huge. So this happens in many ways. You can delegate when it comes to house chores and stuff like that, if you're doing a bunch of small menial tasks that are taking your focus and time away, how can you cut that stuff down? Can you get a grocery delivery service? Can you get somebody to help out with your kids? Um, can you hire someone to help you with your social media or with your housework? A lot of times we look at these things as if they're luxuries, but they're not luxuries. When it comes to you being able to put your energy and focus into yourself so that you can carry out your mission in life and so that you can be healthy, it is an investment, not a luxury. It's an investment in yourself. So, to be honest, having someone to come and help you, clean up the house a couple days a week, it's not that expensive. And there are so many other ways that you can enlist support. And then if it's not a physical type of support like that, maybe you don't want to spend money on having people to delegate those tasks out to. Have emotional and moral support is huge. Just being able to have a community where you can share, get things off your chest, you can talk, laugh with people who get you, like-minded people who are not going to try to give you a bunch of advice and tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing or try to shut you down. Getting support from a community of like-minded people is so replenishing. To be honest, if you did nothing else I said except for that one thing, you would benefit tremendously because you're in a supported situation where I don't have to carry this all by myself. I have this whole tribe of people who they've got my back. And that already helps to take off some of the load. You can also find accountability in places like that. Um, People who will call you out if they see you, you know, going full speed ahead and you're not taking care of yourself. I mean, it's just so wonderful if you can get support. So, opening up, being vulnerable, let people know what you're struggling with, what you're dealing with, and where what your weaknesses are in terms of do you tend to take on too much and not ask for help. Let people know that. Let a trusted friend or family member, someone know that so that you can have that accountability. And, they can also provide you, perhaps, if you want, with some solutions or alternatives for how you can move forward in a way that's more fulfilling and that's less draining for you. So, a couple places you can find that support. Of course, if you are, um, you know, if you're into spirituality, look for a local spiritual center. If that's not something you're into, find a group online. You can find a meetup. It doesn't have to be a group themed around support. If you like to play chess, find a chess meetup and hang out with chess people. If you like to play magic, find a group of people that play magic. If you're a gamer, if you like to go running or go on, local hikes, if you're into knitting, crochet, any type of group where there's a common interest, you'll find like-minded people. You're going to feel comfortable there and you can make friends and you can talk to people. So you can find groups online. And I have a group. It's for women only. It's called the Women's Healing Circle. That's on Facebook. It's completely free. And really, we're there for sisterhood, for support, for empowerment, and for fun. Just there to hold space for one another to elevate and grow. It's a very cool, non judgmental place where you can express yourself, find your voice. So you're more than welcome to come and join my community. You'll find that at rohiniwellness.com /group. And so, yeah, that's the Women's Healing Circle. And there's just tons of groups out there. So, just really quickly to recap 5 ways to avoid burnout this summer. Listen to your body, assess how you spend your time and energy, recommit to your big vision, trust in yourself and in the universe to know that everything is working in your highest favor. And number 5, get support. Let other people pour into you. It's no use to just pour out all the time and receive nothing back. That's not what you're here for. The world is a community. There's like 7 billion other people here, and we are here to support one another in one way or another. So take advantage of that. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be sure to check the description of this video. If you like this, please share this out with your community on social media. Also, be sure to to give me a thumbs up to let me know you like this video. And don't forget to subscribe. So I do these talks every Saturday night. Feel free to join me again here next Saturday. And tomorrow, every Sunday, I have Community Healing Day, and that takes place on Facebook. So if you want to receive some free Reiki and crystal healing, be sure to join me on the Rohini Wellness Facebook page. Again, that's facebook.com/Rohini Wellness. So check the description box. Remember to subscribe. Take care of yourself. Happy summer solstice. Love you much, and peace.